Hello and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. This is the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne, with another cryptocurrency podcast. Today's episode is brought to us by Concierge Club, mobile private key wallet and point of sale solution, helping to make crypto safe, easy, and the overall process more efficient while costing less, helping to make crypto mainstream. This episode also brought to us by the Cryptocurrent Conference, going to be held in New Orleans in spring of 2020. More details to come about that. Stay tuned as more details emerge. So today's episode really took a deep dive into technical analysis again. Brought on a special guest speaker, Mr. Tim Pace. Now, not to give too much away of his story, but Tim Pace is a guy that basically self-educated, seeked the information he needed, and now is a very well-known name in the space as far as the charts that he puts, his technical analysis charts that he posts on TradingView. So let's switch over and hear from Mr. Tim Pace. All right, so today we have a special guest on our show today. I'd like to welcome Tim Pace. Tim Pace met Tim Pace in a Facebook crypto group. We've followed each other for a little while now, and Tim has got, actually gained quite a good following on TradingView. His name on there is Heisenberg BTC. And Tim, let's start out, man. I want to thank you for joining today so we can talk a little bit about crypto.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, Wayne. I'm always happy to chat with you, bud.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, your stories intrigue me. We were talking about this offline, and many people think that someone has to be, maybe have some experience or are an expert in trading, whether it's prior to crypto or whatever. But I know your journey is a little different into crypto. So tell me, how did you get into cryptocurrency? And then we'll follow that up. We'll talk about how you got into technical analysis.
Well, whenever I was the reason why I got into Bitcoin was I don't really understand. I don't really even know why. I was walking by a Bitcoin ATM at a mall one day, and I just read about Bitcoin on Facebook probably about a day or two before that, and it piqued my interest. I'm a libertarian, so I was like, I wonder what this Bitcoin's all about. And I start seeing people saying, Bitcoin's going up, and this was in November of 2017. And I start thinking, well, one of my coworkers was talking about it too, so I said, you know what, maybe I ought to get in on this, because I happened to stumble onto that Bitcoin ATM. So I threw like $100 in there or something, and that wasn't the last time I invested. That I invested a few more times before it hit the peak, but it was just fun to watch that go from what little I invested just explode. And it was the first time I have invested in anything, and after that it was like a drug. I was hooked. So I was like, even through the whole bear market, I was really gung-ho about alts and stuff like that, and I did a lot of coin reviews during the entire bear market. I lost a lot of money at the start because I invested in a bunch of alts and I lost a lot of value. And it's just I've done over 100 coin reviews over that entire bear market. So I learned a lot about these alts and stuff like that. And it's just been a really cool journey, because some of these alts have a lot to offer and people don't realize that. But at the end of the day, I learned a lot about these alts that, that's wrong too. Some of these alts have really bad business models. I don't think smart people are running the show. So from all the altcoin reviews I've done, it's just amazing to see them squander so much money. This industry is budding though. So, there's a lot going on that I don't know behind the scenes because I don't run these coins, but it's just, I've fallen back on Bitcoin now because, you could just look, the dominance is high right now. It's an exciting time to be in cryptocurrency, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's kind of funny you mentioned that. My first experience with Bitcoin was at a Bitcoin ATM as well. And it's kind of interesting how you get drawn in after you actually hold it in your wallet, right? After you've got some, right? So it's not just this internet money you've heard about. It's you actually own something. And kind of intrigues you to learn more about it.
Yeah, you're right. And, I was really, when I started getting into it, I wasn't in the crypto groups or anything. I just held my Bitcoin quietly. And, I don't even think I got into Crypto Coin Trader until after the peak and it started falling. So, whenever I got in, I see all these groups where people are pretty bitter, it seemed like, because of they thought it was going to go up forever. A lot of people did. And it was just, I don't know what it just, I felt like there was more to this than just that peak. A lot of people I saw, they abandoned the space, and I saw them show back up when we hit about 10,000, a few months back. So it's like, man, I saw that person. I remember seeing that person whenever we were up really high, and then they disappeared and came back. So, that's what's going to be is, in my opinion, is crypto is just going to be people that join it when it's hot, FOMO in when it starts going up, and then sell and get out. And, that's what investing is all about, really, is making some money. But, some of us are a little more devoted to the space than others. And I would say that's like people like me and you, Wayne, that actually care about the space more than just making money. So, I've learned a lot about this space, and I've never been a technical guy, but cryptocurrency really speaks to me, not in just because it's technical, but it's like a declaration to your government that you're not going to be the only ones that control the money. We have some control over this, and Bitcoin's a perfect example of that. I think it's very important to have an alternative to the US dollar.
Yeah, alternative to the dollar and alternative to debt, right?
That's right. I mean, Bitcoin is it's a beautiful example of how the cypherpunks were trying forever to eliminate double spending, and Bitcoin did that. And it's just an impressive feat, and people don't really get that yet. A lot of people I deal with, they don't even understand Bitcoin one bit. So it's kind of like, all my friends and stuff know I mess with it, but it's kind of a taboo subject almost, because I don't want to come off sounding like I'm trying to sell them something, you know what I mean? But when they ask me about it, I'm more than willing to talk to them about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, so it's kind of similar, our stories. When you look at 2018, you said you spent a lot of time doing coin reviews, and maybe I'll pick your brain towards the end of this episode about a few of those. But
yeah, go for it.
I spent 2018 just really hitting the conferences and talking to people in the space, just because, my belief was there that this was a solid industry, and it had to be more to it than the price action we were seeing in 2018, where everything was just falling, right? So that's kind of where, I built my belief and started focusing on my own education and educating others back when the market was falling, because the people that wrote it out in 2018, I mean, those are the same people. Some of them may have been in for multiple cycles, but you start to realize that this is everything's cyclical, right? It's going to go up, it's going to go down. It's never going to stay still.
Yeah, you're right about that, Wayne. I haven't been in it too long. I haven't even invested hardly anything in my whole life. This was 2 years ago, I'd say. Approximately 2 years was my very first time investing in anything, and I've diversified a bit since then, but Bitcoin was my first jump into investment. So it's been it's kind of special to me, you know what I mean? It's kind of just I care about it, and it's not just, and like you said, it's not just about the money to us either. There's a lot more to it, and like as far as liberty is concerned, and I think it's like a declaration, and Bitcoin is very a powerful statement.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Matrix, but one thing I like to use whenever if I get to use a PowerPoint when I'm speaking to a group, I always show that picture of Morpheus from the Matrix, where he's holding the blue pill and the red pill.
Yeah.
And kind of like, I tell people, I said, if you want to understand why cryptocurrency is important, you have to understand the problems it solves. And a lot of you aren't ready to realize some of those problems,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ignore the debt or whatever, they, like Henry Ford said, I don't know the quote exactly, but he goes, if people knew how the dollar worked, there would be a revolution tomorrow. So that's true. People just don't understand it. And Bitcoin solves a lot of those issues. It's kind of like the gold standard almost, where you have to have, you can't just, you know what I mean? You're not just going to print Bitcoin. That's a beautiful thing about it.
Yep. It's a deflationary asset. So only a limited supply and the demand's going up, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what supply and demand's all about. When there's a limited supply, the demand always goes up. It's one of those things where if people are willing to pay for it, then it's worth something.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. So let's jump into the next topic, man. As far as you've amassed quite a following recently with your technical analysis that you post, on TradingView, and and I heard part of your story in another interview you did. So, yeah, I guess tell me how you got your start on that. How long have you been doing it, and what's the journey been like?
Well, about 6 to 8 months ago, or probably about 8 months ago, I was in a chat, and not really chat, but it was just a comment box on CCT, and somebody was talking about MAs or something, and I was like, what the heck is an MA? And I don't want to ask them because I've been in the space for a long time. So I'm like, I should know a little bit about technical analysis if I'm going to be in the space. I mean, most of the chat rooms at Crypto Coin Trader, I'm a mod, and I don't even know how to trade, and it made me feel kind of like I need to learn something about trading if I'm going to be a mod of a group called Crypto Coin Trader. So, I went to the trouble of learning what an MA was, which is a moving average, and I learned all these little technical names, and I'm still not very good with them. But at the end of the day, I started looking at the charts a little bit, and, I started enjoying it, really. I was looking at the chart, watching it more and more, and I started getting to the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm starting to see patterns and stuff like that. So this is really intriguing. I want to see if there's more to this. So I started messing with the charts a little bit more and actually posting them in CCT when I would get ridiculed daily for my charts. I mean, people would really give me the third degree, and I didn't take it personal. I said, you know what, I'm going to take what these guys say and learn from it. And I'm going to say, hey, these guys told me this sucked, that I didn't do this right. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to try to do it different next time. And, that's basically how I learned at the beginning, dude, just from trial and error. And then when I started getting better remarks and stuff, I started to say, you know what, I'm actually getting somewhere. So I said, what the hell, I'm going to try to pursue this a little more. And I went into, Todd's really popular in Crypto Coin Trader. So I had known about his 51% crew page, and I just decided, hey, I'm going to look at some of these videos over here. And man, I remember watching one, and after I watched it, I was so excited. I was like, I have to go back to the charts right away and use this newfound knowledge I have. And it was amazing. After that, I just started reading the charts differently, and people really respected my analysis as I started learning more of the tools to use. And it also, the analysis itself I'm still quite humble. I make mistakes, and I'm new. I still have a lot to learn, but I try to keep my analysis to where people know I know that. I'm not trying to go out there tell you Bitcoin's going up tonight. You know what I mean? I'm never going to do something like that, because I'm just afraid people are going to invest on something I said. And it's like, I don't feel like, a lot of times I don't invest on my own advice because I'm still new and I'm not 100% sure. You know what I mean? So I take my time with my analysis, and so not every chart I make is something I'm investing in. It's just something I'm looking at, and I do trade on my charts. I'm not going to say I don't, but not every chart I post is a trade I make, so. But I've gained a lot of followers on TradingView under the name Heisenberg BTC. It's I think I got over 1,500 now. But I was wondering how all these followers were finding me, and one day I found out that I was posted on the top Bitcoin authors on TradingView. So I'm one of the top ones on the Binance pairing or the Binance exchange. So it's that's where I got all my followers from. They all saw me on there, so they followed me. TradingView has been really good to me. They share my charts all the time, so it really helps with my follower count. So, I mean, that's one reason why I've got a lot of followers, is because TradingView shares my charts a lot.
Nice, man. So yeah, 1,500 followers, and if I'm not mistaken, you typically post usually one or two multiple charts a day, right?
Yeah, on CCT, I post 2 charts every day, but I post the same chart on TradingView every day. I'll post it on TradingView, and then I'll take it and transfer the same info, the same analysis to CCT every day, at least twice a day. And it's good to I got a nice little following at CCT as well, and they like to see my analysis every day. And I don't really, I don't want to say I owe Joe, but Joe has given me a good platform to, catapult from. So I like to go and show him my appreciation by posting my charts there, because I don't post them everywhere on Facebook. I just post them in a few places, and I've got my good following going, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I have a lot of aspirations, things I might want to do, but since I don't have the too much experience yet, I'm just taking it one step at a time.
Yeah, well, that's great, man. I mean, yeah, you say you've got a lot to learn, but you've got a lot you can teach people based off of what you've learned already. So, and I think that's all your followers.
I have a small little group of people. We're teaching me and Ben Barlow to, just the basics of technical analysis. This is like what a MA is, what a Fibonacci does. It's just this basic layout. There's about 25 people in there, and it's really nice to see them progressing like I was, because I gave them an introduction where I showed them how to use TradingView and how to use the tools and whatever. And I remember it took me months to learn all that stuff. So, it's stuff like that I could definitely teach. But whenever it comes to like high frequency trading, that's something that I want to stay away from, because I don't even do that myself,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, great stuff so far, man. What do you feel is the hardest part when you were, sitting down looking at charts, the hardest thing to learn to set up your charts?
Well, the hardest part about trading, I guess, that would be what I would have to consider the hardest. Looking at a chart isn't very hard. You just gotta, it's sometimes you get kind of like a writer's block, I would guess, where you kind of just can't see anything. You're just kind of like, dang, I don't know. I'm just missing something, or why did it drop here? And, there's always a reason. You just got to make sure you keep looking and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to miss some stuff. I'm not going to get everything. I try not to let it bug me too much. But like I said, I don't trade this isn't my personal advice. This came from Warren Buffett, but he said, it's like baseball. You don't have to swing at every pitch. So, I see a opportunity. That's if the odds are in my favor and I'm looking at the chart saying, hey, we hit this support. We bounced off it last time, and I think we're going to bounce off of it again. We're inside the pattern. I've been watching this pennant for a few weeks now, or a few months. And, I think we're going to bounce off the top here. So I'm going to put a short, and not a short, but I'm going to sell a tether, and it's just one of those things where the type of trading I do is really easy, but, as time passes, I plan on moving to maybe something like BitMEX, but I'm just too scared right now. I don't want to get liquidated.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. You can start small on those. Even I think Bybit lately has been the exchange of choice.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to use the VPN and I guess try it out. Because I've used the BitMEX testnet. I don't know if that's what it's called. It's like a demo account. And, they give you a fake Bitcoin to use. And, man, the very first trade I put on, I got liquidated right away. And I was like, I think I just put it in wrong. But I was like, man, that scared me. I was like, I just got to make sure I know how to use it before I dive right in,
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, like you said, I could always start small. And that's what I plan on doing, Wayne, is not having a ton of money to blow,
Yeah, you do a few dollar contracts, and you're literally playing with pennies or less than pennies on the market.
It's not a bad idea to start with something like that. That's how I started on Binance when I started trading. I mean, I think I started with like $50. I was like, I'm just gonna put $50 on here and see what I could do. And I gained money, and I was like, there is something to this. It was nice, to see that money grow. I even doubled it at one point where I was like, wow, this doubled in less time than I thought,
Yeah, absolutely. So with the trading you've done so far, how has emotion played a part whenever you're trading?
That's tough, bro. Whenever you're looking at the charts and you see it dipping, especially when you get to the 1 minute charts, and you start seeing violent red candles that they don't look that bad if you're looking at a 4 hour chart. But if you look at the 1 minute chart, they look the world's ending. So a lot of times I have a buddy I trade with, and we've been trading for a while together. It's just not, we just chat when we trade, but you can tell whenever she thinks the sky's falling, and it's like, hey, chill out. Yeah, you need to be patient, because emotions will play a huge factor in your trades, and they make you make irrational decisions where you're like, hey, I need to sell now and you'll sell at the wrong time. You'll sell at the opposite time you're supposed to sell, because you're scared it's going to drop more. You know what I mean? Or, it's just one of those things where you have to control your emotions. You got to leave your emotions at the door. And if you don't, you're asking for trouble, because I know that I've traded with emotions involved thinking, oh, it's not going to drop. It's not going to drop. And then when it drops, I say, well, it's coming back up. You can't fall in love with the position. You have to be ready. You have to be versatile. You have to be, like I tell everybody, when you trade, you need to be able to be a bear like that, like be able to switch to a bear and, play the market. That's what trading's about. Trading isn't about only longing Bitcoin. You need to be able to make money off the drops too, So if you're not doing that, you're screwing yourself out of half the profit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I tell people all the time, you just got to take the emotion out and trade off of a strategy. A strategy, when you fine tune a strategy, it'll get you right, because there's no emotion in a strategy.
Well, a lot of times I'll set stop losses, and I say, you know what, if it trips, I'm not going to move it down as it's going. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting closer to my stop loss, I'm going to move it down a little further. I used to do that a lot when I was trading, because I was thinking, oh, it's just going to come back up. But you got to be more disciplined than that. You let it trip and then buy back in at a better time. You know what I mean? And like I said, you don't have to swing at every pitch. So, I mean, if your stop loss trips, reevaluate the situation and re-enter at a different time. Even if you lose a little profit every now and then, it's better to lose profit and have peace of mind in my book. And you know what I mean? Whenever you set a stop loss, commit to it, or walk it up if you're gaining profit. You know what I mean? That's what I do whenever, let's say Bitcoin went from 10,000 to 11,000. I'm moving my stop loss up from 9,500 to 10,500, because I'm just going to walk, it just locks in the profit as you go up. It's just a smart move.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of in relation to what you said about Warren Buffett's quote, another thing that people need to think about, there's always going to be another trade, right? You don't have to swing at every pitch, because there's always going to be more. So
yeah, exactly. You can always, there's not even 3 strikes in trading. You got, it's better than baseball. You have multiple chances to knock it out of the park. You know what I mean? So always, you got to be ready. You know what I mean? You can't, like you asked me earlier about emotions will kill you. So you have to leave them at the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tim, one other thing I've heard a lot is, you're making a name for yourself when people start copying you or imitating you, right? You've had some, I know you've had at least one instance where people have taken your charts and posted them as their own with, your feedback, right?
Well, that they have done that at least twice that I know of, and I know it's probably been more. I had a bunch of people on TradingView tell me it all the time. I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. I can't do much about it. Like, I guess I could start adding watermarks to my charts, and that's probably what I'll end up having to do. But somebody told me, and that's the way I have to look at it, is I should be flattered that they're taking my work and trying to pass it off as their own. And that's the way I just got to look at it, because, life's too short to get too mad about it, People, I got enough followers now. I would like to, whenever I see something like that, and if I can leave a comment, I'm going to be like, hey, that's my chart. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to, go after them, try to, spend too much of my energy going after them. I know that, but I know that people have presented me a few times with it, Wayne, and I think I know the instance you're talking about as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like I said. I mean, it's going to happen, but it's truly a sign of when you're making a name for yourself is when people start copying you and plagiarizing you. So.
Yeah, I remember that guy copied me, and then he changed one number in the whole analysis. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's a nice touch.
But he still had like your I guess you could say your trademark. What is it? WTF DIK.
That's it. Yeah, he did have that on there, and I was like, "What the heck are you thinking?" Everybody knows that comes from me, you know.
Got to get that trademarked or copyrighted or whatever. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that on there. I remember when I saw it on there, I was like, everybody knows who that comes from. That didn't come from him. So it's like, it's almost like, wow, he didn't even think enough to take that off of there. At least he would have taken that off of there, would have thrown people off.
Yeah, yeah. People wouldn't have put it together as quickly. Yeah. Nice, man. Well, hey, let's move on. So you mentioned earlier you did over 100 coin reviews last year, and this is not investment advice, but what's your favorite project outside of Bitcoin?
That's a good question. I don't really thought about it. I like privacy coins, so I'm gonna say Monero or Pirate, but Pirate's a really cool up and coming coin. A lot of my friends talk a lot about it, and I don't know too much about the details because I don't think I've done a coin review on it. I might have. I can't remember all the coin reviews I've done, but I know I've done Monero, and privacy coins really intrigue me. I think that the U.S. is going to end up doing something about them. I mean, you know what I mean? Because they're privacy, and somebody's going to the U.S. is going to take notice soon. The Japan already has. They already banned privacy coins, but privacy coins to me are important. I mean, nobody deserves to know what we're spending our money on, and it's not like people say if you ain't got nothing to hide, then why worry about it? But that's not the point. It's all about, it's our right to have liberty, and that this privacy coins are awesome in my opinion. It's just I don't have high hopes for them. I think they're not going to last much longer. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, I agree, man. I tell you, I was just trying to think of a quote, and for the life of me, I can't remember who said it, but it was basically saying that you don't feel the need for privacy because you have nothing to hide is like saying you don't believe in the right to free speech because you have nothing to say.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard that same speech or same quote before too, and that's exactly true. That's true.
Well, Snowden, I think, may have said that.
Yeah, very well could have been that guy. That guy's a good guy.
Yeah, yeah, but So I definitely love the privacy aspect. I had a conversation last week with a guy that works on the Tezos Foundation. You familiar with Tezos?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they're looking to implement some version of ZK Snark's privacy into their coin, to where it could be something that you can choose whether you utilize the privacy features or not in it.
And that was Zcoin or Zcash. I can't remember which coin has that in it.
Yeah, it's Zcash.
Yeah, those privacy coins are something else. I mean, I like the idea of being able to turn it on and off as well. But at the end of the day, I kind of like Monero just because I don't think you can turn Monero off, but it's just one of those things where privacy is fleeting and it's disappearing. But as far as the projects, like, I used to be a big fan of ADA. I used to buy it a lot, and I had high hopes in it. But I just kind of died off. Some of these projects take so long, I guess, that I just kind of lost interest. But it's not that I don't think ADA is going to succeed. It very well could succeed, but it's just one of those things where I did 100 coin reviews, and now I only touch Bitcoin. Yeah. That should tell you a lot because Bitcoin has proven to me that it is cyclical, that it can come back from 3,000. It almost hit. I mean, it was very close to hitting the all-time high again. It hit 14,000. So I have a lot of hope for Bitcoin, and it's just not like I always tell people they think I hate alts, but I don't hate alts. I really wish alts would do good because I'd like to trade them again because, you can make a lot of money off alts if you play your cards right. And I know back in 2017, hell, you could throw a dart at a wall and hit an alt that was going to give you 5x,
Oh, yeah. So many in 2017, I think.
That was the good old days, man.
Yeah. My favorite one was as much as I don't like it now, but in 2017, man, it was the Electroneum ICO, right?
Yeah, you know what? That made people a lot of money, though. All the ICOs were really breaking in money for people back then.
Yeah, it got in at under half a cent and cashed out at 20 cents. It was.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, you're like, dang, 40x is nice. In fact, I think that they're probably sub ICO price now, but you know what I mean? Most of those are. Whenever I bought 2 or 3 ICOs and none of them are they're all worthless. So
Yeah.
Don't feel bad if you're an ICO that went down, because all of us are in the same boat.
Yeah. We live, we learn, and some of them may come back, but it's not going to be all of them. And I guess we need those cycles just to wash out some of the bad players, because let's face it, man, anybody can create a cryptocurrency.
Right. And I mean, you see the 2,650 coins on CoinMarketCap, and that's just touching the surface. There are a lot more coins that are not listed on CoinMarketCap. I ran across a bunch of coins. Hell, one of my friends created a coin just for fun, and it's pretty funny. He sends them to people, and it's kind of just a joke, I guess, kind of like Dogecoin started out, except Dogecoin blew up, but
It got a community behind it.
Right.
Yeah, I actually created a token myself on the Waves platform, and we utilize it at work. I use it as an employee incentive rewards. So when they do certain things, I send them tokens, and whenever they want to redeem them for snacks or prizes, they send them back.
That's pretty cool. That's an interesting use for cryptocurrency that I never thought of. And, it's a way to also introduce people that don't play with cryptocurrency into cryptocurrency. You know what I mean? I'm really into that. I'm like, I want people that aren't in the industry. I want to help them understand it. And, even to the point where some of my friends, I just try to get them to sign up for Coinbase or something and buy a little bit of Bitcoin and watch it grow. You know what I mean? A few of them are really excited over, at their investments right now, because they've watched it grow from when they bought back at 5,000 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing I like to encourage too, I don't know if you do as well, I'm sure you probably do, but I tell people, go snag your free crypto on Coinbase Earn.
Yeah, and that's what I did the same thing. Yeah, in fact, I just did it about a month ago. I got my EOS and my I forgot what the other one was, but it was pretty cool to get some free crypto. You know what I mean? I cashed it out immediately into Bitcoin, but it's still pretty cool to get. I was like, you know what? I don't want to hold alts right now. I just don't have a lot of faith in them. But I think it's cool that Bitcoin is handing out. I mean, not Bitcoin. Coinbase is giving out coins for people to learn what cryptocurrency is. You know what I mean? Those videos, they probably have done a lot more for the crypto community than people understand. I bet people, I know a lot of people probably ignored them and just got their money or whatever, but some people probably did listen,
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a tool. I point them over to it. Go get your free crypto. I show them mine. I'll open it up and say, hey, look, I want to say, I think since I started, I've probably acquired about $130 worth of free crypto just from,
referrals.
Base Earn. Yeah.
Yeah, the referrals and stuff like that, I do the same thing. I think if you're going to have a family member sign up, why not use your referral link,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, man, all right. So we talked about your, I guess we kind of talked about your favorite crypto, your favorite alt. From your 100 reviews, what do you think so far was the worst one? Where's the worst crypto? Not the worst review. The worst crypto.
Well, I was looking through them the other day, and I'm just going to throw this out here. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but Gain Credits, man, it was $6.50 at the all-time high back in January or something like that, 2018, and it's now 4 cents. So that is a huge tumble, and I don't know if they can recover from that. But I like the idea of the project, but it's kind of like if you're talking price-wise, they have to be towards the top of the list. And but as far as the project is concerned, there was a truck racing coin. I know it sounds so stupid, but I saw it zoom up on CoinMarketCap when I was doing reviews, and that's how I looked in the top 100, and I was saying, whatever's in there, I'm going to look at, and I'm going to pick one to review. And I saw this truck racing coin pop up at like number 30, and I was like, what the heck is this? And I was embarrassed for the crypto industry at that point. I'm like, a truck racing coin is in the top 30, and it was just ridiculous. You went to the website, and it was just a joke, people can make a crypto coin out of anything, and it was almost like it was just a joke to me. So I did the review. I left my opinion at the end, but I tried to make it as unbiased as I could. I didn't want to sound like I was hating on the coin or anything, but that's probably the worst one, is the truck racing coin. I can't remember what it's called. I don't even know if it's still on CoinMarketCap. I know I had the review though, if you want to look at it.
Nice. You know, it brought up a good point because I think Coin Market Cap is actually taking steps now to kind of help that because, you know, a coin could be on one exchange and you and I, like, we could work together and I could say, okay, I'm going to put it for sale on exchange. You buy it and that creates a price. And then they multiply that price times the token supply and boom, you could be in the top 100, right? So I think they're starting to flush some out with certain requirements for volume or liquidity, you know?
Yeah, they are. And I read that article about that the other day. I shared it in CCT. It was they're changing the metrics and stuff like that involved with volume, daily volume, market cap, whatever. And I think it's a good thing because it's going to eliminate some of this fake volume, like you were saying, where, you know, it's not necessarily the volume, or it's not the market cap listed on Coin Market Cap might not necessarily be the correct market cap that should be listed. And these coins are benefiting from that because people see them shoot up into the top 200 coins and they're like, hey, this coin shot up out of nowhere. And, you know, it's unfair to a lot of the other coins. And, you know, I heard that this move by Coin Market Cap dropped a coin, at least one coin, 1,000 spots. So it tells you right there that there was something screwy going on, you know.
Yeah. Pump and dump or something to get the price up.
Right. And crypto's so unregulated that you're going to have to deal with that kind of stuff right now. And that's another reason why people are like, why are you so into Bitcoin? Well, I'm like, because the liquidity alone is so big that it's going to take more than just one, or I guess one. There are whales that could probably move the price of quite a bit, but it you know what I mean? 10 people can't just get together, 10 Joe blows and knock the price up like they can with some of these alts, you know what I mean? And it's just Bitcoin's liquidity. Whenever I learned to trade, Ash Rolston taught me that liquidity is a big deal, and it is a big deal if you can't trade. Like I remember I bought a bunch of alts when I first started, and one was called Campus Coin. It's just a terrible coin, but I held it for a while, and then when it was on Cryptopia. Remember that place? And
Oh yeah.
I sold it. I put a sell order on. I said, you know what? I'm going to sell it. It went up a little bit, and I remember I spent 2 weeks waiting for somebody to buy it, and nobody showed up, and I had to end up market selling it to get rid of it, you know. And I was thinking, dang, it said it was worth this much, but nobody would pay for it, and that's what liquidity really is if somebody's, you know what I mean? Bitcoin always has buyers.
Yep. Something that's very important. You know, that token I told you I created for work, I want to say, I think if you go like on the Waves platform, it shows it being worth about 50 cents a token. And I did like 1 million supply. So I've got technically got a $500,000 market cap on that, but I couldn't really sell it. If I could sell it for that, hell, I'd probably take the rest of the year off, you know?
Hell yeah. I don't blame you there, bud. If you, don't forget to send some my way, bud.
I'll send you some of the tokens. Redeem them for snacks or stuff. But yeah, man, it's definitely a lot to learn. Definitely appreciate you coming on to the episode today. I've always had a focus on education, and just watching what you do is great, man. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I always think so many people in crypto think it's kind of like that a cartoon drawing where it's like two lines lined up, and one of them says understanding Bitcoin, the other one says when to buy and sell. And the whole line is in the when to buy and sell line, and nobody's in the understanding part, you know?
Yeah, you're right, and that's true. The reason I got into Bitcoin is probably the same reason 99.9% of the industry is in, is to make money. You know what I mean? And you know, I can't say exactly what made me stay, but I'm glad I stayed. You know, and I dang sure ain't made money the whole time. Hell, the whole 2018 I lost money, you know, and you have to really either be crazy or dedicated to keep going in a time like that, you know.
Yeah, the cost of an education, that's how I look at it.
And you know, I wrote a few articles as well along the way, but it was you know, those were just mainly blog type articles, but you know, that's how I really started gaining my following at the beginning, was writing, you know, a few articles here and there about who Satoshi is. I did a few on, you know, just a few of the candidates. I wrote little biographies on them. So like I said, if y'all are interested in that, we could drop a link in the, you know what I mean? Or
yeah. Yeah, well, we can put that in. I can put it in the podcast description.
Cool. Yeah, I'll hook you up with all that info, Wayne.
Cool, and I'll also include the links of where they can follow you. But for the listeners, Tim, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at again?
All right. Well, on Twitter, TimPace30. That's my Twitter handle. I don't get on Twitter much, but all my charts from TradingView automatically post there. So a lot of people follow me there, even though I'm never on there. But Facebook, I'm just Tim Pace. You can find me just a guy in a suit. So I have glasses on, or I might not have glasses on in the pic. But anyways, you should be able to find me on Facebook. I'm a mod on CCT as well. So you can also follow me on TradingView on I'm Heisenberg BTC. Let me think. Uptrend, you can follow me as Tim Pace. Uptrend is Jeff Kaderkis' social media page. I've been posting a lot there though, and I've been getting a good response. So I recommend giving it a try if you want to follow me over there too.
Yeah, it's a great platform. Great platform. All right. So, and just for those of you that are listening, maybe you just hopped on here and don't know what CCT is. It's Crypto Coin Trader. It's a Facebook group. If you're not already a member, go ahead and join us. It's one of the hottest crypto groups on Facebook.
Yes, sir. Thanks for that, Wayne. I always think people know what CCT is, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Sometimes I got to stop and say, all right, let me explain this. Somebody may randomly come across this podcast and they're like, wait, what is CCT? So that's it. Yeah, it's a great community, huge group of moderators. I always tell people, you put a group together that big, over 100,000 members, there's always going to be a few jerks, but you just got to, realize that, the bigger community is really, doing some great work to move the space forward.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm really proud of CCT.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Well, thanks again for joining us today. Any final words for the crypto listeners out there?
Just make sure you set a stop loss. WTFDIK.
Yeah. Trademark, right? You got to put the TM after that.
That's right. You got to make sure you do that, man. People will run off with my analysis and my quote.
Absolutely. All right, Tim. Well, thanks again. And everyone, thanks for listening in. And we will catch you on the next episode.